Welcome to Megazord Radio, the show where we recap and rank episodes of the Power Rangers television franchise. I'm your host, Nightster, and with me is my co-host, the wonderful Riely.
Hello, everybody. Live from my friend's bedroom in Ohio. No vacation will stop me from Power Rangers discussion.
Indeed, it won't.
How you been, Nightster? How's it going?
I've been up and down. My games have been keeping me up. The heat has been keeping me down.
The
Oh,
heat
winter
keeps
was.
me up. That's my problem with the heat, is I can't fucking sleep if it's too hot. I had like a fucking mental breakdown last year because I live in Florida, which is land of the hurricanes. So we had a particularly big one where we were told that we should probably evacuate. So we went to my mother's work, which is like a nice reinforced building, and it's like a nursing home. And we were sleeping on the floor in the fucking nail salon. And we were there for a day or two, and then we went home. Despite my great protests, because I did not want to go home when the power was out, and I figured it was still out. Um, and this is actually like, usually you have arguments with your parents and there's nothing that could possibly tell you that you're right, and you're obviously barking up a tree, and there's no salvation for you. But every once in a while, somebody comes in and slips in something that implies you're right, and you can ride that high for the rest of your life. I'm arguing with my mother about how we should stay another night because the power's definitely off at home. And she's like, rah, 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 rah. And she's like, it's not my fault. The power's out. And I'm like, yeah, but it is your fault that we're leaving the place with power. And one of her coworkers were walking by and she's just like, he's got a point. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking right. I have a point. It didn't result in the argument going any differently, but it's just that little thing where it's like, yeah, you fucking better believe I have a point.
Vindication.
But we went home and there was no power, and I fucking had like a mental breakdown because I couldn't fall asleep. And I was in this weird state where like I couldn't even see anymore, really. That's how fucking sleepy I was, but it was just so hot and gross that I could not cross the realm into sleeping. And I was just like fucking freaking the fuck out because it was horrific. It was terrible.
Had that happen. It sucks. It's the worst.
I finally fell asleep on the couch for what I think was like 2 or 3 hours before I awoke once more into my powerless home.
Still about power, huh? Yikes.
Well, I mean, they went back on relatively quickly, but for a day or two it sucked.
Oh my god. I could not
The power
live.
was on at work, so I could do all my things I needed power for there.
I would not survive a few days without power at home.
It's not fun. It's really not.
Like, what do you even do?
Well, you use your devices that have charge on them until they die, and then you cry and be sad until the power comes back on.
I mean, all my devices run by charge because I have a laptop now, and I can use that without direct link to power as long as it's charged. I've got my mobile devices, but they all die
And
fairly quickly.
what I realized was like I didn't have shit on my laptop to do. I had like podcasts and games and shit on my phone, but my phone was dead and my laptop was not, and my laptop needed Wi-Fi to do anything. And I thought I was screwed, but then in my mind I was like, wait a minute. You can charge a phone with a laptop. And then I just like sacrificed my laptop battery to the gods to charge my phone.
Yeah. Oh my god, and we've been talking for so long, without even going into the episode today. That my laptop
It's only been
screen,
5 minutes. That's okay.
my laptop
Folks,
screen just turned off.
mine did too, but that that happens. I don't know how to turn off the fucking screen timer on fucking Alex's laptop. Fucking Alex.
God damn it, Alex. You're
God damn it, Alex.
you're bad
How
in
dare
Time
you let me
Force.
stay in your how dare you let me stay in your apartment for 2 weeks and use your computer and then not tell me how to fucking change the screen settings? You dumb bitch.
Yeah, how dare you, Alex, you piece of shit. Nah.
Did I tell you about the dumb bitch thing?
No.
Oh my god. So everybody, you could listen to Detour Ahead, my other show, if you want to hear this in real time. But this was me like using the power of fate because on my other show, Detour Ahead, that I do with Alex, who I'm currently visiting, we had our mutual friend Val on. And she was having this weird Discord problem where she just like the call would die and we'd still be able to hear her, but she couldn't hear us. And then she'd have to like fix it. So this kept happening every once in a while. And one time it happened, Alex was like jokingly berating her. And in my mind, before I even talked, I was like, I know that fate and God are not going to let me get away with calling her a dumb bitch. So part of me was like, this is going to bring her back. And I said, you dumb bitch. And she heard it, but then it went right back out. She came back
Oh,
just enough to hear me call her a dumb bitch.
no, you did tell me this. That was funny.
It was fucking beautiful.
The timing.
But
Oh,
so today's Power Rangers episode is called Reign of the Jellyfish. For some reason, I don't think it was really a rain.
no, it was just Jellyfish showed up.
And then it
Maybe it
died.
was supposed to
Spoiler
be a
alert.
pun.
Oh, because like water, maybe.
Yeah, like rain of the jellyfish, water,
But it's rain like a
rain.
king. Get it? Jokes. Folks,
And
this
they
is
could have
Reign
at
of the
least,
Jellyfish. Oh, go ahead.
they could have at least called the monster King Jellyfish or something like that to
Yeah,
make
he
it
was just. Did he even have a name? Was he just Jellyfish Monster? Jellyfish Warrior, according to Ranger Wiki.
Reign of the Jellyfish Monster.
It's Jellyfish Warrior.
Yeah, the Jellyfish Warrior.
But yeah, Reign of the Jellyfish aired February 16th, 1994. Written by Stuart St. John. Directed by Terrence H. Winkless. You know how it goes. We start with a time capsule. And Miss Appleby. Remember her now? See her
I
now, Nightster?
I do see her now. That I actually was thinking in my head, oh god, Riley's gonna make a comment about this when we get to the episode. He's gonna comment on her being here, and he's gonna be like, "Now, do you know who she is?" 'Cause
You know
I
me
know
too
you.
well, Nightster.
I read you.
So
But
there's a
yes,
time capsule today. This is the classic time capsule episode. Please continue your thought. I'm sorry.
I forgot my point actually.
Fuck! Damn it. So classic time capsule episode. We've all seen a sitcom from the 90s before. They're doing a time capsule. Everybody's got to put something in the time capsule that they're going to open in 100 years. Man, 2094, guys. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers time capsule. We got to crack it open.
Yep, in uh 69 years. Hey, nice.
Hey, nice. I hope that Power Rangers Disney Plus is successful and it just keeps making seasons for the rest of time. And then the 2094 season, they fucking crack open the the Mighty Morphin time capsule.
I would really love if that happened. That would make me so happy.
But so Reign of the Jellyfish time capsule. They're putting stuff in there. Jason puts a karate trophy in there. Kimberly puts some clothes in there because she's like, they got to see the style and the fashion of the past, and maybe I'll even start a fashion trend in the future. And Miss Appleby almost responds like sarcastically, like she's like, "Yeah, sure." Like she has some sort of problem with the way Kimberly dresses. It was just a little weird.
Like, sure they will.
Miss Appleby, because Trini asks if Miss Appleby is gonna put anything in there. She puts a picture of the Power Rangers in there because they're the heroes and they risk their lives saving the planet, and she wants to make sure that people in the future remember them, which is nice.
Very nice.
But who thinks it's not nice is Rita, because she wants to be the one who's remembered, not the stupid bad Power Rangers. So she goes to Finster and she's like, "Make a monster so I can kill the Power Rangers and everybody will remember me." So she's looking in the monster book. She finds the Jellyfish Warrior and she's like, "Finster, you gotta make this fucking guy." And then he starts working on it. And Rita's like, "I'll kill the Power Rangers." You know how it goes.
Yep.
And then we go back to the class. Zach is putting a cool CD in there. They can hear the fat tunes of the 90s, which is also the only time anybody has ever said the phrase fat tunes. That's definitely not coming back in 100 years.
Yeah, no, I doubt it.
So yeah, he's like, Miss Applebee's like, "Good idea, Zach." And Billy's like, "I'm going to put this personal computer in there, which is just a calculator."
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it makes sense for them to call a calculator a computer, maybe if they didn't have actual computers back then. Like what we
They definitely had they had computers in 1993.
they had
I think the
computers, but
internet
did they
was
call
kind
them?
of just starting in that
Yeah,
time.
but like, did they use the phrase computer when it came to the actual big thing, and only those? Like, it might
I
have been
don't
the time
know.
when they were just calling everything that was technology a computer.
That's fair. I could see that. There is a little preview. There is a like magic of the internet segment in a Zeo episode because the
Oh
internet was
no.
so young back then. So there is an episode where this new side character is like, "Guys, check out the internet," and Adam and Tanya are like, "Whoa, it's the internet." I think Rocky was there too, and they're like, "Whoa, we could talk about karate on forums. It's awesome."
And now the internet is like the biggest fucking thing on earth.
Yeah, but so Trini, I almost feel like kind of cheats. This is a little bit of a cop out. Because Trini brings in today's newspaper so that the people in the future can know what was going on that day. And it's like, you just forgot about this project and you found that in your driveway this morning. And you were like, "I could spin this."
Being fair, literally every single film or show that has a time capsule scene or episode, there is always a newspaper without fail.
That is
There will
fair.
be,
She was delivering on the trope. I understand.
yeah.
Hold on, we gotta take a pause real quick.
All right,
And we'll be back for you right now, audience. Okay, folks.
we are back.
Back again, once again. So yeah, Billy computer, Trini newspaper, then Bulk and Skull come in, and they're like, "We got a good thing for the bulk, for the bulk, for the
For the bulk.
for the for the time capsule. It's the Bulk Witch. It's a giant sandwich, which I'm surprised nobody mentions this once. I was expecting it out of Miss Appleby or Billy, but instead it just gets left out of the time capsule due to their incompetence. That sandwich would be a rotten nightmare in 100 years if it even still existed. It would just be
I would think
evaporated,
that,
probably.
yeah. Like, the people of the future, if that was put in there, would open it and all they'd smell was like rot and like old food. Ugh.
And it would breach out of its container, and it would get everything else moldy because that's how it works. You don't want this. You don't want the bulk witch in the time capsule.
I don't even think they had a
But
container for the bulk witch. It was just
they're just gonna shove it right in there.
yeah.
Get mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard all over everything else. But they don't make it quite right. Skull squirts bulk in the face with mayonnaise. But is this Timmy P's real brand mayonnaise? The
That's
world
what,
may never know.
you beat me to it. Oh,
I'll
that scene is
never forget.
ingrained in my mind.
I will
That
never
scene's
forget Timmy P's real brand mayonnaise.
me either, but for the wrong reasons. Oh god.
So that happens. Bulk gets gooped. Classic scene. Then we go to the Moon Palace, and Rita's like, "Can you fucking hurry up with this monster, Finster? Jesus Christ!" And Finster's like, "I need the right ingredients, and I gotta put this thing in the Monster-matic, and to give it a backbone." And
Otherwise, it's just sushi.
yeah, and then Babu's like, "Then it'll be good, and then Power Rangers will die." Or Lunk,
Day.
or no, Babu is the not Lunk. That squad is Lunk. I haven't fucked it up yet. So we go back to the school lockers. The Power Rangers are there. Kimberly's like, "Man, I'm so happy that they put the Power Rangers in the time capsule." Or no, it's just Kim and Trini at first. And
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, that's so cool." And Trini's like, "I wonder what the future will think of us." And then Jason, Zach, and Trini show or Jason, Zach, and Trini. I'm used to that trio for a particular reason.
Yeah.
But Jason, Zach, and Billy walk in, and they got the time capsule, and because they have the highest grades in the class, they get to go and bury it. Which is cool and convenient that it's 5 of the highest grades specifically.
Yeah, there's these 5 highest grades, not these 10, not these 3 or 7 or 6. Nope, 5.
Could have been 6. Where the hell is Tommy? Did he drop out? He was in Angel Grove High.
Good point. What the fuck is he? We haven't seen him in class.
I guess
What?
he wasn't always supposed to come back, so I guess the implication is that he moved out of town, but they don't say that though. So it's just weird.
Like the last time we saw him was when he was like celebrating the Rangers on Ranger Day.
Yeah, we got a brief appearance in Doomsday. But other than that, he's been fully MIA.
Yeah. I don't
Which is
understand
why
where
it's
he
just
went.
so weird to me. Especially because like there had to have been a point where they knew he was coming back. Before he did come back. At which point I would put him in like regular episode out of suit plots, just to remind you that he still exists. Because it's weird he just falls off the earth, except for one little cameo in what was supposed to be the finale until he comes back.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. But
Regardless, Tommy
yeah,
doesn't get to go bury the time capsule because he's not there, I guess.
no. And Zach is complaining because it's heavy.
Yeah, imagine how less heavy it would be if Tommy was there. He's got them
Yeah,
muscles.
which Kim knows all about.
True. So they get to go bury it. So they head out. Zach's kind of complaining because the thing is heavy, but he's got to do the thing. We go back to the moon. Rita's upset because the plan isn't going fast enough. And Goldar's like, "I'll distract the Rangers with the putties, and Squad and Babu will steal the time capsule and put your picture in there." Which, this is the first time that's been referenced as the plan, which this is a very petty Rita plan.
Also a very weird one. Like they didn't need that plot. It was very insignificant and it made no sense.
And also, can't
So
Rita, like, magic zap things in and out? Couldn't she just, like, used her wand and zapped out the Power Ranger picture and zapped in her own?
True, she could have, but
If she
she
wanted it
didn't.
that bad.
Like, she's a witch. She has magic, but that doesn't get used
But
unless it's like,
instead she chooses to send Lunk and Babu because they're totally competent. They've never fucked anything up before.
yeah, never.
Not even once. So we go to Earth. The Rangers are starting to get to the place where they're burying the time capsule. So they put the capsule down. They pass around shovels. Everyone starts digging except for Kimberly. Kimberly does not have a shovel. She is just supervising, I guess.
Wait, really?
Because yes, she doesn't have one, or at the very least, she's not using it because she's kind of holding something. Maybe it was a shovel, but she was the only one not using it.
Reign of the Jellyfish. I thought she was digging.
No, she can't get dirty. You see, because she's the pretty one.
That's offensive to Trini. I guess technically they could all be the pretty one, but
I mean,
personally,
yeah, they're all pretty attractive people.
yeah.
Tommy's the pretty one.
Oh yeah, she doesn't get one.
Yeah, she just gets to fucking sit pretty while everybody else digs.
Oh, she's holding the
The
time
time
capsule
capsule
here
sign.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah, but they could have put that somewhere else.
Like, I guess she was using it for leverage, just like dig up to
Yeah.
here.
Oh, maybe. Perhaps. But Lunk and Babu arrive. They're watching from the bushes. No, hold on. So the putties show up. They start fighting the putties, of course. The Power Rangers do. And then
Yeah.
Babu and Lunk show up and they hide behind a bush. And they go to the time capsule. And they start fucking with it. Babu pulls out Kimberly's clothes and she's like, "Ooh, Rita needs to do clothes. Very grunge." And they're like, "We could just take the whole capsule home and then put Rita's picture in it because we didn't bring it." And Lunk's like, "Okay." And obviously, the Power Rangers make quick work of the putties. They find Lunk and Babu, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop!" And they're like, "Okay," and they drop the time capsule and leave.
And hold that thought because I need to take a quick break.
All right.
But we'll be back right now.
Right now, it's become a new famous bit. All right.
And we are back. Oh,
Oh
I guess
God, is
that's what
that? Now there's an echo. Oh, I think it's gone. I think we fixed it, chat. There we go.
Yeah. This isn't a live stream, Riely.
Listen,
This isn't one of your Pokemon streams.
don't make fun of me. So they teleport away without the capsule, Lunk and Babu, and the Rangers are like, "What does Rita want with the time capsule? Whoa." This was Lord Zed. He would turn it into a monster. He would turn it into the sweater, newspaper, CD, karate trophy monster. I forget what the other person brought in who was not those four. Oh, the computer and a computer.
The computer, newspaper, clothes, trophy, thing.
Computer, clothes, newspaper, trophy, CD,
CD, photo.
photo. Oh no! Can the monster become the Power Rangers? Because it's the picture of the Power Ranger.
I mean, Lord Zed does love his evil ranger clones. Lord Zed
Can we
is
talk?
very much like me.
So I understand that the Power Rangers need to move on, and they're like doing what they can and dealing with Power Rangers as the five of them. I feel like I'm kind of offended that this picture does not have the Green Ranger in it. Because to the people of Angel Grove, He just like hasn't been around for a while, but he was doing some stuff. He is a Power Ranger.
And you know what I'm offended by more than anything?
What?
The fact that none of the Rangers looked at the photo and went, "Hey, you know, Miss Appleby, I'm pretty sure there was a green one at some point."
Yeah, I wish they
Like,
would acknowledge Tommy's existence at all ever.
but they don't until the next.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, next episode they're gonna do it real hard, but up to that point,
yeah, and not next episode as in the one that we're talking about after this one. Next episode is in the next one that we're recording
yeah,
in a
yeah,
few.
yeah. Not Plague of the Mantis, the two-parter we're doing next week. But so we go back to the moon. Rita's like, "You were supposed to bring the picture, idiots." And they're like, "Sorry," and she's like, "Next time I'll make hubcaps out of you." Sorry if you hear me swallow. My fucking throat hurts. I don't know. It's either because I was coughing too much, which like usually doesn't happen because I partake in the funny grass is what I'm implying. Usually it doesn't fuck with my throat. My theory is that it also has to do with the kiwi strawberry lemonade I drank at Outback Steakhouse because
Oh,
I fucking love because it's very good and I fucking love kiwi. But it's always kind of caused like slight irritations in my mouth. Like I think I might have like a minute allergy to kiwis. And I wasn't really thinking about that when I ordered the lemonade. And now there's just a spot in my throat that's like, I will cause you pain now. And I don't like that. I would like that to stop.
yeah. You know, sometimes we deal with pain for food we like with spicy
It's
food.
true. Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I love spicy food, but it causes pain in your mouth for a long
And
time.
other places as it processes through your body.
Not for me, I found. I don't get pain on the way out.
You've never had painful shits from spicy food?
Not from spicy foods, but
Wow.
it just burns my mouth for hours.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like how I had what you would call chips that were flavored chip shop curry or chippy curry sauce, something like that. It was a curry flavor basically, and that had a bit of a kick to it, and I'm still feeling it now.
So this is gonna be TMI, but it's something I live with that I have to tell the world. I can't keep it in anymore. My struggles. Has, has your dick ever hurt after eating spicy food?
My what?
I don't
See a
know why.
doc- see a fucking doctor. What the hell?
I think what it is, maybe I should see a doctor, but I think what it is like usually it's not just my dick. What I think it is like the sweat still carries some of the spice. And
Uh,
because like I'll sweat and like my face will hurt a little bit and like my arms a little bit sometimes if it's really spicy and sometimes my dick also.
uh, oh, you were right. That is TMI.
The
Sweet
people have to know
Jesus.
of my suffering.
Painful dick sweats.
Yeah, my dick sweating disorder. Uh but
Megazord
so
Radio.
Jelly Megazord Radio, everybody.
Uh,
Good tagline, Megazord Radio. My dick hurts.
is that what we're gonna call this episode? Dick sweats?
Maybe, maybe. But anyway, so Jellyfish is done. He's on Earth. Rita's happy about that. An alarm happens, and Zordon and Alpha are like, "Oh, it's the Jellyfish monster. We better call the Rangers." So they call the Rangers, and they're like, "Jellyfish monster attacking Angel Grove Park." So they morph. They go to fight Jellyfish Warrior.
And he
But
looks giant on the viewing globe. Like it looks like he's the size of a building. You can
a
see
little
trees
bit,
behind him. So
yeah,
I thought they were instantly going to go to like Megazord fight for some reason, but no, they
yeah.
don't.
It probably was giant footage they used, which is weird because he's not giant.
Yeah,
But the Rangers attack him with their blade blasters in blade mode. But he blocks them, sends them flying, shoots blasts at the Rangers that shoot right through their suits. They're having some problems. So Jason's
yeah.
like, "We gotta regroup."
All
So
right,
they
guys.
go, "All right, guys."
Finger
So
blaster.
this has to be the fastest they've ever solved a problem in all of Power Rangers. Where it's like, oh no, the lasers shoot through our suits, and they go to the command center, and they're like, Zordon, what do we do? And Alpha's like, I've got spray, and they're like, oh, okay, cool.
I do like that they're back in the command center in their suits, but
It still feels so weird to me, cause like they almost never do it in this season, and they do it. They almost never do it in the season. I've talked about this before, but just to complain again for those who didn't hear the episode where I complained before. First of all, they barely do it this season, and second of all, they start doing it fucking close to every episode next season, but it's suits on, helmets off. So it's weird to see them in the command center with the helmets on as somebody who's seen season 2 more than I've seen the other seasons.
I kind of like it, to be honest. Like,
I always liked the helmets off because it's like it serves as a fun reminder that they're still in there. Because it's like it's just a suit. We can't see any of their features, so the body
true.
shape doesn't always match. So it serves as like a nice, yeah, that's these guys, and now they've got their helmets off and they're taking a breath and regrouping.
And that's why I think Ninja Storm does it better than any other season, because
Yeah.
their
Yes.
helmets have the visors that open up, and I
Yeah,
love
that's
that
pretty
because
sick.
you almost get the whole suit, but you can also see their faces. It's perfect.
Yeah, I like the Ninja Storm visors. Everybody tune in for Ninja Storm in half a decade.
Yeah.
I know Crow Royalty did the math at some point. I gotta touch base with him and see if he still has whatever Google Doc he was doing that on.
Yeah. It's gonna be years
But
until we get to that point, but
oh yeah, definitely years. It's gonna be years. It's gonna be year before we finish Mighty Morphin. So
and move on to Zeo.
yeah, true. Exciting times.
Zeo go. Zeo. Fucking great theme.
Zeo was my favorite for a long time. It has since been eclipsed by Dino Thunder and also a few other things. But like I've always said, like before, I have two different seasons that fit this exact box now, but I still have this feeling. Because back in the day I would say Zeo is my favorite season of Power Rangers. In Space is my favorite season of television contained within Power Rangers. Cause Power Rangers is kind of its own quirky thing, and like Zeo still has a lot of those quirks, and I love it for it. But I acknowledge that In Space is like an actually well-crafted narrative that does not have as much of the Power Rangers silliness. And nowadays I feel that exact same way, but about Dino Thunder and RPM instead of Zeo and In Space.
Yeah, Dino Thunder is my favorite season, hands down, for multiple reasons. Mainly a guy in a white suit. But we'll
Yeah,
get there eventually.
someday.
And if you don't
We
think
can
that
do
I'm doing,
we can just make this the Tommy Oliver podcast. Just skip around.
yeah,
Do Mighty Morphin through the first half of Turbo and then Forever Red and then Dino Thunder and then Legend War and Dimensions in Danger and that's it.
could you imagine if we did that? But when we get to Dino Thunder either way, if you don't think that I'm doing Trent's morph instead of the regular Dino Thunder power up as the outro, then you're bugging. 'Cause
We
I'm
got to do it the
pretty-
same. We could definitely do that once. That's kind of I have that in my mind as like a bit that like every season we get like one episode where we decide to change the morph sequence. Which for Mighty Morphin season 1 that was I don't know if you remember in the Halloween episode where Billy morphs. And because he's doing nerd speak, instead of saying it's morphin time, he says it's time for molecular transmutation.
yeah, I
Me and
remember
Crow
that.
did that as an outro on that episode.
Yeah, that's still one of my favorite Mighty Morphin morphs.
Time for molecular transmutation. Triceratops.
It's not as good as my favorite Zeomorph, but it's up there.
Is that let's stop this crime? It's morphin time.
Yeah, the singing
Yeah.
morph. Zero Ranger 5 Road. Because like they keep singing while doing the whole like actual morph. That was a nice touch.
Yellow. It's like a weird like Michael Jackson hee hee almost when
Like
Tanya morphs.
like
She's like
squeaky and high pitched.
yellow.
Squeaky, high pitched, fast. See Ranger 2 yellow.
0-5 red.
Yeah, he based it. He went full bass.
You know, JDF doesn't have a terrible singing voice. I've seen I think one of my favorite con moments I've seen on YouTube of Jason David Frank is there was a Zio reunion panel and Nakia was trying to get JDF to do another song and dance morphing sequence with her and he refused. He didn't want to sing in front of the audience.
I would have asked him to do the morphing singing that he did in Zio.
Everybody was like, "Come on, you got another song and dance. Let's hear it." And he's like, "Nope, not gonna do it."
Man, that would have been cool.
But regardless, I'm glad I'm glad they did that reunion panel because I think it was only a couple of years before tragedy struck.
Yeah.
But so God, my train of thought is just dead now after that long break. Probably because I
They
laid down during the break because it's either this shitty folding chair or the bed. Those are my options for resting.
well, they leave the command center and they're back to fight the jellyfish with their new shield.
Yep, Alpha's got shield spray, and they go back to fight Jellyfish, and now they can't get fucked by Jellyfish Warrior. Oh, he's in a new place now, and there's putties too, by the way.
Yeah,
Super
yeah,
putties, which they
this
don't look
happened.
like super putties, because super putties are supposed to look different. But Jellyfish does say that they're super putties, so I guess they are. Are
And they're
we meant
still
to believe that
handled.
all putties are super putties now, and the Rangers have just gotten like stronger?
I guess. Like that might be implied, but it's never really confirmed outright. It's hard to say.
Yeah, so they fight the super putties, and the jellyfish tries to do his spray again, and the protective coating works. So jellyfish is pissed. But then jellyfish catches them in his umbrella dimension that he has now.
He just holds up an umbrella during an attack and they bounce off, and then he goes, "All right, here's my new dimension."
How many fucking dimensions are there in Power? I should have done this. I might still, because we're not that far in. Somebody needs to track like every dimension that exists in Power Rangers, because it's such a trope that the monster has the ability to send you to another dimension from which you could never escape. How many fucking dimensions are there?
Because I know there was the Madame Woe, she had one. There was the
Madame
Rock
Woe
Mon-
had a dimension. Bones had a dimension.
that was it, Bones.
Jellyfish now has a dimension. Rita obviously has a dimension. Zed
Yeah,
has a
Rita.
dimension, but I think it's the same one. I think he just steals Rita's. There's a lot of dimensions going on.
Does the island count as a dimension?
That is another dimension. They do say that. So the island of illusion, that's another dimension.
A lot of fucking dimensions. Oh my god. Be original,
uh,
Power Rangers.
so many
Fuck.
more dimensions to come. The jellyfish is in the dimension. It's where he lives. While they're there, they can't touch jellyfish, but jellyfish can touch them.
So he's basically Z's clones in that dimension.
Basically, so he starts kicking the shit out of the Power Rangers, and so they're getting beat up for a while, and then they're like, "Oh wait, Billy's like the jellyfish is telephased, and if you blast the power axe, it should get everyone out." So Zach fires a blast from his power axe in bazooka mode, and the jellyfish warrior blocks it with his umbrella, but it does break the dimension, and they get out of the dimension. So the Power Rangers are like, "We need more power. Get ready, guys!" And it seems like they're about to form the Power Blaster. But before they can, magic wand, make my monster grow, because that always works.
Yeah. Growl. And then comes a wand.
And instead of saying magic wand, I think she says like "Watch me, world" or something. She's very caught up on being remembered instead of the Power Rangers this episode. So she's like, "Hey, look at me, world! I'm gonna make my monster grow. Remember that?" What the hell was that?
I accidentally turned the volume up way too loud when trying to
Okay.
replay that clip.
So the Power Rangers summon their Zords. Uh, they do a little bit of individual work.
Yep, they do.
Billy and Trini shoot some lasers at him. Zach does the cold air mastodon thing. But it's not quite working all the way. So the Zords have to come together for a Megazord. And they start punching. And,
The squid has an
standard
umbrella.
fare. Why does the
It's that
squid have an
damn.
umbrella?
I don't know, but that seems to be his main defense. Like, the lasers get fired, and he blocks it with the umbrella. The Mastodon air comes in, and that's what makes him drop the umbrella. And then they hit the Megazord.
Yeah, they hit the Megazord. They start punching the shit out of him. They call the Power Sword. They slash him a couple times with the regular, not super powered slash. And then they do the super powered slash, and Jellyfish dies.
And for some reason, the Megazord in this fight looks beaten up and like dirty.
I wonder if
I don't
there's
understand.
more to this in the Jew 2 footage that we didn't see.
Maybe because it looks wrecked.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Jellyfish is teleporting around again. Because he did that with Jason,
True.
and now he's
So
doing
yeah,
it to the
Jellyfish is
Megazord.
dead now. Oh, go ahead.
Uh, um, oh, my brain is fucked.
You gotta hold on to these memories for 1 second, Nightster. Just but a second.
I know, but a second.
So Jellyfish is dead. Rita has a headache. She's beating. I think this is another shot where she's like beating Squat Babu and Goldar with her wand. And she's like, "I've
Uh,
got such a headache."
it's actually not. She's grabbing her own head, and then Lunk and Babu are hiding behind the globe.
Oh, okay, I think it's next episode that she beats them with her wand. But yeah, classic. I have a headache style. So go back to the juice
Yeah.
bar. The Rangers are hanging out, demorphed, obviously. They have a nice popcorn and a soda. And then Bulk and Skull are like, "We're here! And we finished the Bulk Witch to put in the time capsule." And Jason's like, "We buried that already. Sorry."
And that
And
thing barely
he's
fit through
like,
the door.
"Yeah, it's a huge sandwich." And Bulk's like, "What?" and he accidentally drops part of the sandwich. It spills everywhere. Bulk and Skull start slipping and sliding and falling in the mayonnaise and the ketchup and the bologna. Classic stuff.
Bologna.
Which that would usually be where the episode ends, but then they got to give us a little bit of little bit of a moment, which not doing too good so far. Spoilers. But the Power Rangers are like, do you think? They're like, we hope that somebody, whenever they open their this time capsule, Jason's like, I hope they live in a peaceful world, and Kimberly's like, with no hatred, and then Billy's like, no prejudice, and Trudy's like, no crime, and Zach's like, and no wars. Yeah, not doing too good on that one.
Yeah, so folks.
Yeah. So Kim's like, do you think it's ever possible? And Jason says, if we all do our part and try to get along with each other, yeah, I do. Well, Jason, hopefully the next couple generations figure that one out. And
Yeah.
they do like they put their hands in and they're like, to the future, and ba 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 da ba 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 ba. That's the episode.
That is the episode indeed.
So Nightster, who is your favorite
Yes.
character in Reign of the Jellyfish?
I'm gonna say Billy.
Fair.
'Cause he had a few smart moments, and we love to see it.
That's actually 2 Billies in a row for you.
That is. I was bouncing around between Billy and Trini for this episode.
That's fair.
So who was your favorite character?
Who was my favorite character in Reign of the Jellyfish? I'm trying to think. I don't know how much standing out there was really among anybody.
Yeah, that was my issue as well.
Maybe. Maybe it's Kim. Because there was a lot of good I'm just a girl moments with Kim that I was very amused by. The whole exchange about the outfit, the fact that she's not digging. Like there was some fun, subtle stuff with Kimberly this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Kim.
Absolutely valid. Kim deserves a lot of respect in these.
Now we gotta rank it.
We do gotta rank it.
This is kind of a lame one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a
I don't
good
think
one
it's
coming up, but for this
yeah.
episode,
I don't think it's as good as the premiere, Day of the Dumpster. What even happens in Calamity Kimberly?
if I can remind myself of the episode, Calamity Kimberly. She gets sucked into a bottle.
Oh, it's the Samurai Fan Man episode.
Yeah, the Samurai Fan Man.
The fact that the Samurai Fan Man is cool and memorable, I feel like makes Calamity Kimberly beat it. Now, is it better than Billy? You're too high up.
Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah, I guess you like that one. I was kind of annoyed by it, but there's some good stuff. Pressing Engagement, I think, is the King Sphinx episode with the deadlifting, which I don't know why we put it so low.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and I know For Whom the Bell Tolls is Tickle Sneezer, and I kind of think this is not better than that either. It's probably better than Island of Illusion, though.
Yeah, I can see that.
So coming in at the new number 36, Reign of the Jellyfish, which actually brings our number of ranked episodes to an even 40.
Nice. That's about to change, but nice nonetheless.
Yeah, for a second, it's gonna be even. Yeah, pretty good. Teamwork is still the worst one, and I don't think that's gonna change. That episode was fucking nothing.
Yeah, what the fuck even happened in Teamwork?
That's the Minotaur episode. They get their power weapons. That's what happens in Teamwork. That's why people remember that episode. But other than them getting the power weapons, it's an extremely boring and bad episode.
Like, it's so bad that if you look up the episode with like Power Rangers teamwork, it
Cosmic
very
Fury.
few, not even that, just very few images of episodes in general. It's just
Yeah, because they do a lot of teamwork in Power Rangers. It's just the general value they follow.
it's just Ranger team standing together. Like, I'm getting the fucking 30th anniversary.
Man, I
Which
can't believe they brought back Minotaur in once. Which monsters did they bring back besides Minotaur? Because I don't think it was any of the good ones. Because it was
in which
Minotaur, which is from Teamwork, which is a bad episode, and then it was Snizzard. It was Snizzard, which is
yeah, it looked
not.
like
He was voiced by Walter White, so he's kind of cool. So I guess Snizzard is fine. But it was Snizzard and Minotaur instead of like I don't know, King Sphinx and Pudgy Pig, the two most iconic monsters.
and one of which got a really funny line during his second like episode, like when he returned.
King Sphinx also returned.
Which
I
I
got that fucking screenshot for the thumbnail. I had to work real hard to get that fucking one frame screenshot.
like I still don't know how um they got away with what Pudgy Pig said in his return episode.
Pudgy Pig wants to get down and dirty in the slop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but baby girl, you want some of this bacon?
I think he said you want to make bacon together or something.
We're gonna make bacon together.
So that's Reign of the Jellyfish, everybody. Which means next is Plague of the Mantis. This is a really weird. Why are all these episodes blank of blank blank? Because
Blank blank blank.
there's Reign of the Jellyfish, there's Plague of the Mantis. The next episode is Return of an Old Friend. I guess that's 5 words. But why is it always of something? All of a sudden.
Mighty Morphin of Rangers.
Okay, the next one is Grumblebee after that, so they get rid of that naming convention, but it's just funny that it that many in a row. What was before Reign of the Jellyfish? To flee or not to flee. Okay, so that's or, not of.
But
So anyway,
episode 36 was Birds of a Feather.
Birds of a Feather, true. Island of Illusion.
And no illusion, yeah.
Crystal of Nightmares.
Crystal of Nightmares.
Alright, Plague of the Mantis. Written by Mark Hoffmeyer, directed by Terrence H. Winkless, aired February 17th, 1994. It's a Trini episode, guys. Are you excited?
I am very excited.
These are rare.
I love Trini episodes.
So we start at the youth center. Trini has a new karate master, Master Lee, which for a minute I thought was Uncle Howard from the episode with Uncle Howard. But it was not Uncle Howard, it was Master Lee.
Sadly, it was not Uncle Howard, but that would have been cool.
Sometimes characters come back, but most of the times they don't. Most of the times they just get on the bus forever and they never come back. But every once in a while, I think there's like a mean girl in Mighty Morphin who shows up once in season 2 and once in season 3, and it's like, oh my god, she's back.
That girl's back.
That girl from that one episode is also in this one episode. No, I think it's season 3 in Zeo, actually.
Oh.
But so she's learning Mantis style from Master Lee. But she's struggling to keep pace and to have proper form. Master Lee tries to guide her, and it's not quite working. But he's like, you'll get there. And rest a moment. I will test your mind. So Trini gives a bow, dries her face, and then Master Lee's like, what is the most honorable tradition of Kung Fu? And then Trini says, Trini, the yellow Power Ranger says, we always honor the tradition of a fair fight. Always face your opponent with equal numbers.
Coming from a member of a currently 5-member team who face 5 against 1 battles
All the
all
time,
the
every
time.
time, almost.
Yeah, there's putties
Which,
sometimes, but apart from the
yeah, I guess
putties,
so. Usually when the putties show up, it's the other side that's outnumbering them. But the general premise is this episode is literally just to address that criticism. Like the whole onus of this episode is this is why the Power Rangers jump monsters and that's okay.
yeah.
So yeah, they're like equal numbers. And Master Lee's like, yes, good. I've also brought a praying mantis so that you can check it out. Which are they like practicing for season 2? Because Rita doesn't turn this mantis into a monster, does she?
She does not. She makes a monster based off of the mantis because she sees this.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of practicing for season 2 then, because like from here on out, almost like, especially Zed and even those who come after Zed, sometimes even King Mondo sometimes. It's just like, oh, look at this object that the Power Rangers like or are around for some reason. I'm gonna turn it into a monster. So it becomes that game you play in your head when you see a thing and you're like, "Whoop, monster. That's it." So that's kind of the feeling I got here. And they did not make it into a monster because that's not Rita's thing. But it's like they've been doing this a lot lately. And it's like, are you just practicing for when this trope does become the case? It's like, okay, if we were gonna have something turn into a monster, what would it be, and how are we gonna introduce it?
I'm pretty sure Rita has done it in the past, but
Yeah, she turned the Noble
that's
Lion
the one.
trophy into Goat Man, Lion
Yeah.
Man.
Didn't she also turn the wheel, like the Rumpelstiltskin wheel, into something?
Yeah. It wasn't quite a monster. It was the Wheel of Misfortune. But yeah,
Yeah.
she did turn it into that. So yeah,
And then
get ready for Lord Zed, because then it's gonna be that every time. I still
I
can't
mean,
believe one of the most trippy experience. I'll never stop thinking about this. You, I believe, watched this episode with me. No, it was the next episode you watched with me. We talked about this episode, the episode of Turbo where Justin gets weird ant-based super strength, and there's like a fucking dragon monster looking ass fishing lure that Lieutenant Surge. This isn't Pokemon.
Lieutenant Surge.
Lieutenant Stone pulls out this fucking dragon monster looking ass fishing lure, and all of the Power Rangers knowledge you've ever obtained is like, that's the monster. And it never comes up again.
The old bait and switch.
True! With literal bait.
Ex- That was the joke, Riley.
I know. I was tagging it. Don't be mean to me. So Master Lee has a praying mantis, and he's like, Trini, you must observe the mantis. It's delicate but powerful. It's peaceful but always ready to defend itself. And he's like, let's try again. They go and they do some more kung fu. And meanwhile, at the counter, Bulk and Skull are there. They get a shake, or Skull gets a shake.
And
And they're not looking at the counter. Oh, go ahead.
you immediately know what's going to happen when you see Skull holding a milkshake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, we know where this scene is going.
Man, I can't wait for their joke to be let's find out who the Power Rangers are instead of let's get gooped.
Yeah. Like, I already like them because I did watch a clip from Samurai where they had a reunion because someone put their theme over that clip, and I watched it. So
Yeah, that was really sweet.
like I really enjoyed that, and now seeing them like properly, even at season 1, I'm just like, yes, these characters are core comic relief.
I wonder what song was actually playing. If it was like a generic Power Rangers tune, or if it was the new Bulk theme that goes like doo 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 doo.
It might have been that, I don't know, but they rescored it with the original, which was so good.
Man, I've been watching Samurai lately, and it's fucking wild, the juxtaposition between like how much the Power Rangers fail to entertain me at all, and then Bulk and Skyke are on screen, and I'm like, yeah, yes, Bulk's
Fuck
gonna do a
yeah.
silly thing. They even like reduced him to season 1. He's getting gooped every episode, and I don't care. I'm just glad to see Paul Schreier, a man who can act, on Power Rangers Samurai.
Yeah, it was. It's just so fun to see this actor because he's good in every single Power Ranger role that he's been on, which is only 2, but still.
Well, it's only 2, but one of them is the longest running character in Power Rangers, I believe. Like I think Bulk does hold that record. Like he's more so than Tommy, more so
No,
than Billy. I think Bulk holds the record.
Billy was in Cosmic Fury, which came after
Even then,
Samurai.
that's even then that's 10 episodes. I still think Bulk has been in more total Power Rangers episodes than Billy or Tommy.
True, but if we're thinking about the fact that Billy was one of the main 5 focuses of Mighty Morphin for all that time, and Bulk and Skull were like here and there, tiny little clips. I feel like Billy might have accumulated more screen time.
Yeah, if you're going by total screen time, that's possible.
I think
Because I
episodes
mean,
they're in, Bulk might have it, but screen time, I think Billy has it.
if you count it by episodes, Bulk I think gets 2 or 3 episodes for Lost Galaxy, technically, even though he was in it for a collective 1 minute.
Yeah, on a technicality.
Yeah.
Then again, every
I
single
wonder what happened there. That must have been like a last minute writer's room call where they were like, we don't want to do Bulk and Phenomenus bits actually. Because why else would you send Bulk and Phenomenus on Terra Venture if you weren't planning on doing bits with them? So that's got to be like sometimes pilots will happen for a show and they will contain elements that they kind of abandon. And this is one of those examples where they held on to, I guess Jason Narvi was busy, so they couldn't keep Skull. So they send Bulk and Phenomenus to Terra Venture because they're gonna do Bulk and Phenomenus scenes. And then in between the pilot and when they started actually doing the show, they were just like, fuck it.
yeah. Uh,
I'm very excited for In Space where you get to meet Bulk and Skull have a couple like third guys who join them throughout their tenure, mainly 2, but I think there's that early one in season 1 too. There's that chick, but nobody remembers her. But then they get Lieutenant Stone, obviously, who you've heard of and I think have seen in
yeah,
clips.
I have.
And then there's Professor Phenomenus from In Space, and he is also great.
Oh, I've seen little bits of him. He looks so fun.
He's very fun. But regardless, uh, Rage of the Mantis or whatever the fuck this is called, Plague of the Mantis.
Yeah, Plague of the Mantis.
There's no plague.
No, there's
It's
not.
just a mantis.
That's a weird title. Like Honor of the Mantis might have been a better name.
Yeah.
Honor of the Mantis.
So they have a shake. They're watching Trini and Master Lee, and they're like, "Oh, they're doing bug kung fu." And then Bulk's like, "What if we find a bug, and we come up with a karate for that bug, and then we charge people to figure out how to do it?" And Skull's like, "Yeah," and he so he stands up and he's still got a shake in his hand and he starts doing kung fu moves and he dumps the shake on Bulk, everybody.
Yeah. Bulk gets gooped again.
Gooped once more and he's like, all right, Skull, let's go fucking chase bugs, and he yanks him by his shirt and he's pissed, but he's got a mission to do.
And I thought what comes next. I must have a really dark mind because all we see is a black screen with a circle and a cross that's kind of aimed towards Trini, which is Rita's telescope. But I thought it was a sniper rifle.
They just fucking kill Trini. What an
I thought
episode.
I thought you were gonna try and snipe her.
I didn't know they introduced Aisha in season 1 separately from the other two.
Jesus
After Trini
Christ.
gets sniped and killed.
See, that's why Rita killed Trini in Once and Always to
She was
make
like, I
up for
had
her.
my chance. I had my chance fucking 29 years ago.
And I blew it.
And I blew it.
I'm making up for my failure. No, but no, it's a telescope.
Yeah. So we're on the moon. Rita's like, oh, she wants to do Mantis Kung Fu. Finster, why don't you make a Mantis so that we can kill her with it? So that's the plan. She storms in there, yells at them, whatever stuff. Those
Yeah.
Power Rangers have been bugging us forever. Ha ha ha. So we go to Trini. She's still kung fuing. Zach
Everybody
and
was
Kimberly.
kung fu fighting.
Those kicks were fast as lightning.
Yep.
So they're kung fu fighting. Those kicks are fast as lightning. And Zach and Kimberly get a drink. And Zach's like, wow, Trini's really good. And they're like, yeah, she's been practicing hard. The other two Rangers join them. And Jason's like, we might have to all practice the praying mantis technique if we want to keep up with her. And Trini is struggling, though. And Trini's like, it's so difficult. And Master Lee's like, it just means you have to work harder to perfect it. Wax on, wax off. Paint to the fence. So Trini's like, I'll keep at it. They bow. Master Lee gives Trini the mantis. She shows it to the other Rangers, and Zach's like, ew, bugs. Because that's Zach.
Get it away from me.
And Billy's like, that's pretty cool. And Kimberly's
And
like,
they-
now you have to do math and kung fu homework.
I forget what Billy says, but it's something really scientific. He just goes,
He's
an
like,
excellent example of a mantis something. What was it?
he probably says like the science name, the like proper title.
Example of mantis.
Mantis
Mantis
religiosa.
religiosa.
That sounds made up, I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on. I gotta put this to bed right now. Shit, my phone. I dropped it. Hold on. Praying mantis.
Oh, that's a thing. Mantis.
Scientific name. Mantis religiosa. Yep, he's got it.
Wow.
So, regardless. Shit, okay. So, Bulk and Skull show up. They're in their cockroach costumes because they're doing cockroach style kung fu. And Trini's like, that's not real. And Bulk's like, really? And are you sure? So they do a demonstration and it's stupid. And Jason's like, we would love to stay for your stupid your stupid thing, but we got to go to the library.
And they kind of break the fourth wall as well. Because
Do
Bulk
they?
and
How
Skull
so?
like they look at the camera and Bulk is like right up against it, and he's pointing at the
Huh?
cockroach.
So we go to the command center, and Alpha's like, there's an energy source, and we don't know what it is, and it's in the park. And Zordon's like, Trini is nearby. We'll have her look. So Zordon calls, and he's like, hey, there's something going on. You gotta go figure it out. So Trini goes to figure it out, and there's the Mantis. She calls Zordon, and she's like, "Hey, that's a monster that you sensed." And he's like, "I'll call the other Rangers. Be careful." So she morphs. They fight. And then eventually the other Power Rangers show up. And the Mantis is like, "You don't fight with honor. You're ganging up on me. You suck, Trini, you idiots." And she's like, "Maybe he's right." Or she, I think it's a she. Maybe she's right. And she disappears.
Well, it's a he,
And
but it sounds like a she.
is it a he? Yeah, because he definitely has a she voice.
It's got a she voice, but everyone in the episode refers to Mantis as a he.
Oh, I see. Trans icon Mantis.
Mantis.
First we had Zato. Now we have Mantis.
Yeah, praying mantis monster who screamed through the praying mantis Kung Fu and an expert warrior. He was the titular main antagonist of the episode, Plague of the Mantis. So it is
I
a
see.
dude, but feminine voice.
So we go to the moon. Rita's like, "Yes, the Mantis shamed Trini. Now she'll be easier to kill." Yes. And then we go to the command center. Trini's like, "Maybe I should have paced the monster alone." And Zach's like, "That's one of Rita's monsters. Don't worry. It's okay." And Zordon's like, "Alpha, do the viewing globe." And they do the
Dude,
viewing globe. They do the viewing globe, and they see the monster and how strong it is. And Trini's like, "I'm gonna practice, and then I'll be ready next time." So they go back to the youth center. Trini's practicing. Rita's watching, and Goldar's like, "We gotta get her away from the others." So then there's a mysterious letter at the juice bar, which Ernie tells Trini about, and it says that Master Lee has some new training for her, and she's got to go to the woods. So she heads out. Bulk and Skull are still trying to figure out cockroach foo, and Skull's like, "What should we do now?" And Bulk's like, "Do what the bugs do." And then Skull dies.
Doesn't he acts dead?
Yeah, he acts dead, and he's like, "Not the dead ones."
Numbskull.
Numbskull. So Trini arrives at it's the quarry, by the way, not the woods. Get used to
Quarry,
the
yep.
quarry, everybody. We're gonna be spending a long 30 years in the quarry where
Flashbacks.
half of Power Rangers fights happen.
I'm getting flashbacks to when I watched Ninja Storm on my own.
Yeah, there was quarries there too. Quarries all around. So
From
she goes to the
miles
quarry.
around.
She's looking for Master Lee. But then Mantis shows up and he's like, "You're a pussy, bitch. You don't even try to fight me alone." And Trini's like, "I believe in fair, honest play. I'll fight you one-on-one." And this is weird. Is this the first off-screen morph in Power Rangers? Because it's not something they usually do. Because the scene ends with Trini not morphed, standing in front of praying Mantis. We go to the next scene, and then we go back to Trini and Mantis, and Trini's already morphed.
I didn't think of it, but I think you're right. That might be a first. It's definitely rare.
Yeah, so a very rare off-screen morph occurs. But first, we go to the youth center where the other Rangers find the note, and they're like, "This is weird. We're gonna go check it out." So we go back to the quarry. Trini's already morphed. They're fighting. And they fight for a little while. It's a nice, even conflict. And then the monster's like, "Ah, a million putties!" And she's like, "What? We're supposed to be fair." And he's like, "I'm one of Rita's monsters. I'm not fair, which is why you guys are allowed to gang up on me. Kids, stop sending us letters." So yeah, Trini gets cornered by a bunch of putties, but the other Rangers are about to come rescue. But then there's putties for them to fight,
Putties all around.
which they play. I think it was fight they were playing before or combat.
I think it
Because
was combat.
this was combat.
Oh no, it was fight for a lot of the episodes earlier.
Yeah, this was combat, except they took out the lyrics except for the background lyrics, which is weird. So like there's I don't know if you've heard combat before, but there's like the main track, and then there's the background track but they're bouncing off to each other. I guess it's not really a traditional background thing because they're bouncing off of each other because it's like two different voices, because there's like the one that goes like tick tock, and then you're running out of time. All those second ones are removed, so it's just tick tock, instrumental, no time to stop, instrumental.
Yeah. I don't know. The music's always weird when it comes to this.
But it's still got the I fucking love the Ron Wasserman fight songs.
Yeah, he nails it pretty much every time.
I can't believe I didn't notice they weren't here. Like it's such an inherent thing of Mighty Morphin to me that I hadn't even thought to be looking for them. It's just like they just were passively there the whole time in my mind. And then they actually came in and I was like, "Oh, whoa,
The music.
I remember that music. I can't believe it hasn't been here the whole time."
It hasn't been here the entire time.
Because I thought the song "I Will Win," which we haven't heard yet, played in the King Sphinx episode. But then what I realized what I was thinking of is there's like on a VHS tape for Power Rangers, there was like a music video for "I Will Win" that was just clips from the show, and there was a lot of King Sphinx in it. So I think that's why I thought that.
That makes sense. The association.
So the other Rangers show up, they're fighting putties. Trini's holding off the putties and the Mantis. And then eventually they win. The other Rangers morph. They go to fight with Trini. And Trini's like, now it's a fair fight. Mantis grows. Because that's what happens in Power Rangers. And then, even the wiki's getting tired of this. Because in most of the episodes, they will try to describe the Megazord fight at least a little. The whole paragraph for the Megazord, and by the Megazord I mean, or by the paragraph I mean the sentence that is just separated from the other ones. The Megazord is summoned, and after a difficult fight, destroys the monster.
I mean, I've got the
Yeah.
episode pulled up, so I could probably describe it from scanning through and watching
Is
it.
there anything that interesting that we need to particularly address? I don't think we describe it very well usually anyway.
Oh well,
'Cause it
Trini's
just
like
fades in the background.
like watch for the footwork because he uses Mantis style and he's gonna go for his one swift strike.
Oh yeah,
it.
they do the Mantis style stuff in the Megazord. Yeah. It's like watch the footwork, one big strike, and Jason's like, "We'll be ready for him," and they are, and they kill him.
Yeah, they go into a grapple and then they summon the power sword and then they kill him.
So we go to the command center. Zordon's like, "Good job, Trini. You were fair, even though Rita didn't, though."
Well, before that, I'm actually on the moon and Rita's bonking the
Oh.
shit out of the villains.
Yeah, this is the part where she's smacking him with her wand, and she's like, "You guys suck. We need to be better at this."
Goldar got 2 hits.
Yeah, it's particularly Goldar's fault for some reason.
I mean, it's implied by the way she moves back along that she was going to go for another round to everyone.
Oh, it's just like snake order. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
So we go back to the. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Lunk gets hit, then Babu, and then Goldar, and then Goldar again, and she moves on back along. And then we cut to the command center.
I'm glad Lunk is imprinted on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so they're getting beat up. Zordon commends Trini for her attempt at fairness. We go to the youth center. Trini and Master Lee finish another training session. Bulk and Skull are like, "Cockroach Kung Fu, $50 an hour." And nobody's interested, not even for a $20 cockroach that is a, quote, sparring partner. So Bulk's like, "We gotta get some publicity. Everybody gather around. Come see this cool shit that we're gonna do." And then they just look stupid as usual when they try to do kung fu, and then Skull breaks the jar, and the roaches go all over them.
Yeah.
Kind of horrific, actually. This might be the worst gooping yet.
Yeah, like cockroaches suck.
But yeah, that's it. We end with Bulk and Skull getting bugs all over them, and the Power Rangers being like, ha ha ha, being like, da 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 da. So there you go.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite character in this episode, which was called Plague of the Mantis?
Trini, obviously. She was
Yeah,
so good this episode.
yeah, there's not really much of a different choice here. I mean, I like the Bulk and Skull segments, but not enough to take the ball away from Trini. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Trini as well. What's your
Absolutely
favorite
fair
scene?
enough. I'm gonna give it to the morphed fight between or the last morphed fight before the Megazord between Trini and Mantis. Mainly because if you watch it back, you can see that Trini is using a lot of tiger style kung fu against the Mantis, which I thought was really cool. You could see her like move her hand like a claw and dig into his chest, and then grab her dagger and start stabbing in. That was really cool.
It is a little weird though, because the onus of the episode is that she's training in Mantis style. So it's a bit weird that she's using Tiger style in the actual fight.
It is a little bit, but I just like seeing her use tiger style because it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite kung fu style.
I wish there was an exchange with Master Lee where she was like, I'm better at fucking Tiger style, and he was like, I know, but you must learn multiple styles to learn the true spirit of martial arts. Just something to acknowledge why Trini would be using Tiger style when the whole episode has been her learning fucking Mantis style.
Maybe it's just a thing where she's like, okay, well, you're not going to play fair by our 1v1 Mantis fight, so neither am I. I'm going to use a style that I'm highly proficient in.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it to that fight too, just because I can't think of much else that really fits. Like it kind of just the episode was good, but it kind of just flowed together. There's not that many isolated scenes that I can think of to particularly highlight. So yeah, that fight was pretty sick.
It was.
Now we gotta rank it.
Do have
Definitely
another
much better
rank.
than Reign of the Jellyfish, but I don't know by how much.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good. I don't know about really good.
I mean, I was just trying to make a reference to um, Michael Rosen.
Okay.
Really good.
The syrup. Peach syrup.
Nice.
Nice.
In peach syrup. What a drink. So I drank the lot.
So I think Gung Ho is my stopping point. I don't think it's better than Gung Ho. Is it better
I
than Star is Born? Oh, go ahead.
I can't find the freaking ranking file. I
Oh
found
shit.
mine, but that is outdated as fuck.
Did I not ever send it to you?
I'm trying to see if I can document.
It is set to anyone with the link in view.
MR
Oh yeah,
season
correct.
1.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. And you said your stopping point was Gung Ho.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than Gung Ho, the episode where Tommy and Jason team up to defeat Titanus and get the Blade Blasters. Is it better than A Star is Born, the episode where Tommy's on the TV?
Oh, I don't know. Like my Tommy bias is saying it's not, but thinking of what
That's
happened
not
in
the
the
best
episode,
Tommy episode in the world.
I know, but the fact that it is a Tommy episode is my point.
Fair.
But thinking of what actually
I,
happened in both episodes and weighing them out, it's a tough call.
I think it's better than A Star is Born.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So coming
Very
in,
solid.
new number 18, top 20 episode, Plague of the Mantis. Guys, we're finally here. Next week, our golden child returns to us.
Go
In-
Green Ray. I really hope that they play that in this episode.
They do. I promise.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. We get to hear the best theme. Well, best theme,
There's
but
something I'm very tempted to spoil. I probably shouldn't, but I'm very tempted.
don't spoil. I mean, it's only like
Okay.
what, 2 or 3 days until we get to it.
That's true. We don't have to wait that long. So yeah. Because we're recording this late because I'm on vacation and I was on an aeroplane when we were supposed to be doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Finally, my boy is back.
Our boy
And
Tommy.
And with this return, for the exception of 3 episodes, count 'em 3, in between Green and White Ranger, Tommy is in the show from this point to the end of the first half of Turbo, consistently.
Oh, I missed him.
I missed him too. But folks, we're getting our boy back. We're very excited. But it's time to end this particular episode of Megazord Radio so we can look forward to the next. So, Nightster, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on our collaborative channel, Toku Thrill, with Riely and some other friends, where we talk about Super Sentai, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman, depending on the day and who's with us. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Go check it out. And I've also got my solo channel, Nightster, which is just for regular gaming stuff. So where can our listeners find you,
Did you ever
Riley?
post the Sonic Battle video that we made like 20,000 years ago?
I don't remember.
I think you might have. I think I watched it. Maybe I'm going crazy though.
Apparently, I haven't uploaded anything in 7 years.
Yeah, so probably not then.
Oh, no. Which
Well,
I thought
folks,
I did, because I thought I uploaded that and then the Undertale one. Oh, no. Oh, the Undertale was a stream.
oh yeah.
Oh.
Well, folks, so until next time, we're Morphin' Outta here. It's
It's
Morphin'
Morphin'
time.
time.